History remembers crowns, wars, and conquests, but sometimes history remembers something far more powerful, a woman who refused to disappear. This is not the story of a forgotten princess. This is the story of the princess who lived in history not because she ruled a throne, but because she refused to be erased. Princess Ilara of Aurelion was born on a quiet winter night, far from celebration. Her birth did not bring joy to the royal court, only disappointment. Aurelion already had a prince. A daughter was unnecessary. From her earliest days, Ilara learned that silence was safer than speech. She watched lessons from behind doors, memorized conversations meant for others, and studied the court the way scholars study ancient texts. While her brother was trained to rule, Ilara was trained to obey. And she listened, and she remembered. Ilara's tutors believed her inattentive. In truth, she absorbed everything: politics, diplomacy, military strategy, economics. She learned that kingdoms were not destroyed by enemies alone, but by pride, greed, and poor decisions. When famine struck the southern provinces, Ilara quietly proposed grain redistribution. Her suggestion was ignored until unrest nearly collapsed the region. Only then did the advisors realize the idea had been hers. They praised the solution. They never praised the princess. As years passed, Ilara's brother ascended the throne as King Lucian. He wore gold, commanded armies, and demanded loyalty. But he lacked what Ilara possessed: foresight. Behind closed doors, she advised him. She corrected his treaties, softened his threats, and prevented wars with carefully chosen words. The kingdom prospered. The people never knew her name. She did not sit on the throne, but the throne stood because of her. Power, however, breeds fear. The council began to whisper that Ilara held too much influence. They warned the king that a princess who thinks is more dangerous than a queen who rules. Lucian listened. One morning, Ilara was stripped of her advisory role. Her correspondence was restricted, her movements were watched. She was not imprisoned, but she was silenced. For the first time, the kingdom began to falter. Without Ilara's counsel, treaties collapsed. A neighboring empire invaded. Taxes rose, revolts spread. The people suffered. When the capital fell under siege, King Lucian panicked. He sent messengers to every advisor except one. Ilara came anyway. She negotiated ceasefires, organized defenses, and secured alliances within days. The invasion ended not with victory, but with survival. History would record King Lucian as the savior, but whispers spread among soldiers and citizens. They spoke of the princess who saved them all. When offered power at last, Ilara refused the throne. "I do not need a crown to shape the future," she said. Instead, she founded schools, preserved records, and ordered that truth be written, not rewritten. She ensured that decisions were documented, names recorded, and voices protected. She understood something rare: power fades, but records endure. Ilara died peacefully, long after her brother and his rivals were forgotten. There were no grand statues, no wars fought in her name, but her legacy lived on, in laws that protected the weak, in histories that told the truth, and in a kingdom that remembered who truly saved it. Scholars would later write, "She ruled without ruling, she led without command, and she lived in history because she ensured history could not lie." Some princesses are forgotten because others choose silence, but some princesses live forever because they choose truth. She did not wear the crown, she became the memory. And that is how the princess lived in history.